Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Tiger Woods came out with his big apology today, and maybe it was just me. Everybody has disagreed with me so far on this, but I thought he actually looked sincere. I don't want to get into the Tiger Woods thing. I want to play a little bit of it because he touched on something in his speech that I think is exactly what the president and Congress, both sides of the aisle, need to tell the American people if they could possibly muster up some sincerity. I'll show it to you. Come on, let's go. Hello, America. It's Friday. Tomorrow, I have been honored to be asked to give the keynote speech at CPAC. It's a big yearly event for conservatives in Washington, D.C. The last time I was in Washington, it was for that, what was that, that correspondence dinner. Oof. I swore I'd never go back, but this is an honor. Rush spoke at it last year. Dick Cheney, I think, was the year before. Ronald Reagan spoke at it like 1 billion times. And now me, CPAC. Things are really going downhill, aren't they? Hey, really? I guess a lot of people just weren't, available, and they're like, okay, whatever. Ask the big fat marshmallow man. We'll have him here. I actually thought they'd have a plan B by now and cancel me, but they haven't. So now I have a dilemma. I don't know what I'm going to say yet. Seriously, I've written like 14 speeches, and most of them just end at yelling at politicians, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not sure what the message will be tomorrow. I think Fox is covering it at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. But I did see a comment from Dick Cheney yesterday at CPAC, and I love Dick Cheney. I think he's incredibly smart. Oh, sure, he's Darth Vader, but he's an honorable Darth Vader. He said something that jumped out at me, and here's what he said.
The sky's the limit here. I think 2010 is going to be a phenomenal year for the conservative cause. And I think Barack Obama is a one-term president.
Okay. In a way, I understand what I'm overthinking this, but in a way, it bothered me. Yeah, it's going to be a good year for conservative politicians, but it's taken an awful period in our country to be able to get to it, and it's not going to be a good year, maybe even good 5 years for our country. And it's not because of Barack Obama or the Democrats. It's been part of his fault, too. His party as well. We have been electing these so-called conservatives in the past, and has it really helped us? After 7 years, George W. Bush was in line to be the first president since World War II to increase federal government employment faster than the private sector employment. Hello? I read a magazine article in Reason magazine. It gave some stats. I want to show you these stats. First one was in 2005. 2005, 5 years ago, the average federal worker, think of this, made $59,000, plus. $59,000, okay? 5 years ago. Got it? Now, private sector 5 years ago was how much? $40,500. You, government. The boss makes less than the guy working for them? Today, the average private sector salary is $40,000. Notice, the boss's money went down, but the government salary, oh yeah, $71,000. And they're set to get an increase again this year to $75,000. Can you tell me exactly what this guy in the government has done to warrant this when we're warranting this? Pardon me if I don't get a thrill up my leg just because Scott Brown won in Massachusetts. I don't know who Scott Brown is. They were at CPAC this week saying he could be the next president. Can we have him do something first before we hand him the most powerful office in America? Maybe he's going to be the next James Madison. I don't know. But why should we give him the benefit of the doubt? I hope for the best. I prepare for the worst. What past evidence suggests that the R's after somebody's name means anything's going to get better? Sometimes it does. Ronald Reagan, it got better. The progressive idea of a big bloated government has infected both parties, even Ronald Reagan. He cut taxes, but that's half the job. You've got to stop spending. In a survey, 80% said the main thing that influences what members of Congress do in office is either personal self-interest or special interest. Now, notice it said those in Congress, not Republicans, not Democrats, both. State governments are also doing it as well. You got 21 states now who currently have underfunded pensions and entitlement programs. Look at this. I want to show you this map. Okay? States with serious pension problems. Remember, these are union problems. Coal miners, just corruption, home of Acorn. Now, even if you're in one of the safe zones, I mean, this looks like a safe zone to you, really? I mean, California, their annual retirement contributions in 10 years. Look at this. In 10 years, in 2000, their pension benefits have gone from $320 million in 2010, you ready? $7.3 billion. The state is crumbling. I mean, they're spending like crazy. This is like you going out and just maxing out everything. You're completely bankrupt. You've lost the house, you've lost the car, you've lost the family, but you still say, hey, I'm still paying for that boat. Are you kidding me? No, it's rock solid. I got news for you. You're going to lose the boat. But it's not just the states. Oh, it's deeper than that. It's you and me, really. We have to understand there is no such thing as a free lunch. If it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Somewhere along the line in the last 70, 80 years, we've let people convince us that there is a free lunch. We've also been convinced that we're entitled to that free lunch. I mentioned Tiger Woods' apology today. He came out, and I bought it. I mean, you know, look, it's up to him, whatever, and him and his wife. I thought it was a heartfelt apology. Maybe I'm wrong. Only time will tell. But the reason why I wanted to play this is because he said something that I think it's what the president and the Republicans and the Democrats should be telling every American. Listen, watch this.
I knew my actions were wrong, but I convinced myself that normal rules didn't apply.
Normal rules don't apply.
I never thought about who I was hurting. Instead, I thought only about myself.
Just me.
I ran straight through the boundaries that a married couple should live by. I thought I could get away with whatever I wanted to. I felt that I had worked hard my entire life and deserved to enjoy all the temptations around me. I felt I was entitled. Thanks to money and fame, I didn't have to go far to find them. I was wrong. I was foolish. I don't get to play by different rules. The same boundaries that apply to everyone apply to me.
This speech...
I brought this shame on myself.
This speech is going to be given by America at some point. It's our fault. We thought we could play by different rules. We lost our head. We thought we were entitled to it. This is what our politicians have done. Our politicians don't think the rules apply to them. Our economists are telling you, well, now we know how this ends. I actually read this in the New York Times, I don't know, about a year ago, when they started to monetize the debt, which they're still claiming they didn't do. They say, well, we know how this ends in every other country, but we don't know how it's going to end here. Oh, really, Tiger Woods? Really? You don't know how that's going to end? The rules are the same. We have to stop thinking about ourselves. Our politicians have to stop thinking about getting reelected. We have run through the boundaries of the Constitution. At least they have in Washington. And we think we're entitled. This is America. We deserve it. Just like Tiger said. We were wrong. And it has to stop. And it doesn't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter. If you say you're sorry and you say, okay, I get it. It matters what you do now tomorrow. And it starts with you. It starts with me. This is what the president needs to tell the American people. Is there anybody in Washington with a spine? Washington needs to stop spending. But what that means is you have to make a sacrifice as well. I just mentioned the pensions. This is crazy. This is crazy. Now, in what world does it make sense to continue funding a system where this routinely happens, where these pensions always go out? In the recent article, and this is going to make your eyes bleed, in California, workers play what is the 3 for 50 game. 3 for 50 game. Got it? What this means is when you turn 50, you're eligible for 3% on your final year salary multiplied by the number of years you've worked. Pretty sweet. So if you work for 30 years, right, you retire at 50, you'll get 90% of your salary. At 50, 90% of your salary? When do people start dying? Near 80? Are you kidding me?